What do you think one of the seismic shifts in leadership right now in business? What would you say one of the greatest seismic shifts that's happening right now? What is it?
I think there's a number of them. I think one, and it's been accelerated by COVID, right? So all of a sudden, remote environment opens up all these different unique opportunities where I don't have to go into the office. Well, people are craving these connections and they didn't know it. Like they just assumed, oh, this is really cool. I get to hang out with my cat and I can, wear my slippers and everything's cool. But we're missing this connection. And what companies are starting to find, and now the research is supporting it, is people still have to get together and they're still going to meet. But now when they do, they want it to be powerful and have these meaningful connections. So I'll give you one of the trends, right? Before COVID, right, there's a lot of these, I'll call them boondoggles. I don't know if you know that word. You go on these corporate retreats, you stay in a nice hotel, but you're in a ballroom and you're going to these late night dinners and you're boozing it up at the bar and they have cigar tastings and this whiskey shots and all this horse shit. And then you get up and you go to the buffet, right? There's a buffet breakfast, and usually on the meeting it'll say on the agenda from 8 to 9 we're going to have breakfast. Well, what happens? Everybody shows up at 8:50. They get their bagel and they sit next to somebody they already know, or they just scroll on their phone and then the meeting starts. It's a whole lost opportunity. People want to interact. They want to have genuine connection. It's not about boozing up at the bar. So there's a few big shifts. The way meetings are done are completely changing. It's not about the boondoggles. It's about meaningful connections. And it's about being intentional, being authentic, being vulnerable. So that's where we're just having a ton of success because all these companies are like, oh my God, we need what you have.
I totally agree. I mean, that's why I flew out to Boulder. I said, Bart, we're going on a connection walk. I love what you're doing. Count me in. I want to be a part of the movement. And I'm passionate about that. And at the same time, I'm alarmed by the statistics that I'm seeing saying that sitting is the new cigarette smoking. That sitting is so bad for us physically and now mentally and business wise. It causes cardiovascular disease, an increase in diabetes and strokes. So I feel like one of the biggest seismic shifts, I agree with you, I concur. One of the biggest seismic shifts right now in business is the way that we meet and the way that we conduct business. Because you're right, in the pandemic, and still there are, as you well know, clients who still say, oh gosh, my employees still want to work from home. And so I want to give them the flexibility. I love the flexibility. Absolutely. And I now know by the research, we need each other. And we need to be together. So say that you're going to say, well, you can, still work from home 2 days a week, but we're going to come together. So even when we come together, we need to meet differently.